All right, so one of the things, one of the first changes I want to do is, again, it was a lovely talk about the top 10% versus the bottom 50%. And depending on how much of a political hound you can be, you can change this to the top 1% versus the 99%. And then we can go ahead and we can have T-shirts and slogans about the top 1%. But what I want to do is I simply want to remove this top 10, bottom 50, and let's just talk about the top 50 and the bottom 50. Let's just very, very simply split this population in half. This population of agents. So in order to do that, I have to go over here to the code and switch this. And right now, here's our turtles. We're not changing how many turtles there are. There's still 500. We're not changing how much wealth they start with. That's 100. That's fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to change the reporting. And the bottom 50% is just fine. What we're going to do is we're going to change the top 10%. So what I want to do is I want to change this to the top 50%. Now I'm changing the name. So as soon as I change the name, that's going to go ahead and mess up some of my programming. But what I want to do is there's the top 50% wealth. I want to report the sum of all of the wealth values. That's sort of like the wallet value of every turtle. Max of count the turtles. This is the maximum. So if we had 500 turtles, start with the maximum and then work backwards. And I want the top 50%. So here's a 0.5. And that's all I need to change. I changed the name to 50%, and I changed the actual calculation to how many turtles, and I want the top 50%. So half of the turtles starting from the top. Down here, this is half of the turtles starting from the bottom. I didn't have to change that. And again, this is copyright Yuri Wilinski, and then Professor Rand happened to contribute to it. That's cool. So that's taken care of. But now when I go back to the interface, I get these things that are red because I changed their name. Over here is wealth top 10%. I don't have a reporter that does that anymore. So I have to double click this to edit, and it says there's nothing named top percent. I know, so I need to change this to 50% because that's what I changed it to. I'm going to say okay. And now this guy is much happier. And then over here, I also have to double check this guy. So I'm going to double click this guy, or I have to right mouse click and edit it. By the way, the update command says top 10%. This doesn't exist anymore. So I need to go ahead and edit this. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a 50. And I'm going to apply it and say apply and say okay, and now it's happy. The only thing that's not changed though is it's now happy, but the label is still wrong. It still says I should have changed that, so I was going to had it. So here's the function top 50%, but I need to change this name. It's not top 10% anymore. It's top 50%. So all I did was just change all those things to 50, and I think we're all happy now. The wealth is still 50,000. This is now the top 50% in red, the bottom 50% in blue. Again, yeah, red versus blue sounds familiar. Let's hope we're talking about Halo. And then we're gonna have a reporter of how much wealth is in the top percent and how. Oh, you know what? I still didn't change that yet either. I'm gonna right mouse click and edit this guy, and I'm gonna change its name to 50%. Everybody's 50. I needed to change whatever I saw 10. I changed to 50. Now we're cool. I'm gonna press setup. We're back to all 500 turtles having $100. We're going to play the game. The only thing that's different now is that they're still going to behave the same. Again, this is Turtle 1 the whole way through Turtle 500. Up here, Turtle 250 is in the middle. They're on top of each other. And if they lose money, they're going to go backwards. And if they gain money, they're going to go forward. Here's 100. Here's 500 way over here. Let's go ahead. I'm still going faster. I'll press go. There we go. Now we'll notice right away the top 50%, almost like the first move, randomly, the top 50% had more money than the bottom 50% from the first move. We're not even talking about top 10% versus bottom 50%, and then somewhere around 6,000 moves or 6,000 days, this particular system, this particular economic capitalist system happens to fall apart. If you're talking about equality or equity or, hey, wait a minute, we all started equal. We all started with $100 in our pocket, and now we have people who are much, much less. Remember, $0 in your pocket is way down here in this bar, and that's right about here. It's about 21 turtles. that don't have any money at all. Now, we're not talking about, we haven't put any safety nets in here. We could actually make this very, very complex. We could put in safety nets. We could put a universal basic income and all that. Those things are fantastic. And I hope that folks who are doing research on ideas like that do that inside an agent-based model so that we can have the agents behave exactly the way that we want them to. Again, not to be super controlling, but at least to say, utopia-wise, if everyone did what they were supposed to do, this is the best we could possibly achieve, as opposed to, well, everyone's going to do what they want to do anyway, so we're never going to get to best, but this is sort of the worst average-wise. You see there's two turtles way out here that have a lot of wealth. They're around 450 compared to people down here that have nothing. And this is, of course, this now has turned into, it's not this lovely bell curve that we normally see statistics wise. It happens to be a sort of a lowering curve. These two turtles out here, for whatever reason, they have won life's lottery and they're making a lot of money. And you'll notice again that after a while, we've been running this for a while, red took off and it has plateaued, and blue took off and it plateaued. But you'll notice the wealth of the bottom 50% is, let's see, 8,400, 8,200, 8,300. It seems to be pretty steady right now. Maybe this is where it's going to be, but it looks as if the people down here in the bottom 50% are going to perpetually, according to this model, forever have an average income, again, combined wealth of $8,000, while the upper half, the upper crust, the la-di-da folks are going to be upwards of around 42,000. They have most of the wealth. It just is what it is. And again, it wasn't nefarious. No one stole. It's just completely random. And what we want to do is we want to see if we can do some other things to our model to see if we can improve this. Again, the things that we do are thought as economic things that we can do to our system. And if the agents behave exactly the way we'd like them to, this is the best we could improve. So if we ran this for quite some time, we can see if these things really are stable. Maybe if we came back a day from now after, I don't know, this is 45,000 ticks. Maybe if we came back 1 million ticks from now, we can see if these things are just going to be there forever because of how the randomness works out. But it may be, I don't know, it may be that the top 50% gets most and this gets least. I'm not really sure, but we're going to take a look at this as we go through.